V.A. Dingell, John R. You look, we think, who are we? Well, probably the first step to finding out who we are is asking ourselves, who am I? And it doesn't really make any sense if you ask it that way. Oh, geez. I guess we're not turning that light on into the studio. But look at this. This is for Paul. This is for Paul from Dove and Serpent Tarot. He's got good advice. He's on your side. You should be listening to him. And I wrote this down while watching Paul on Dove and Serpent. And if you want to act like I'm crazy because I watch horoscope stuff, look at all the wives of the presidents we've been living with in the past. Every one of them has got their fucking... And if you don't have a wife, you gotta have a horoscopic mentor. This is for Paul. And it's written down: sea legs, hag joke, Kurt Parks, sea legs on Kodiak Island, right in the storm out. And don't forget REO Speedwagon. But the idea of the sea legs, I was watching a video that he was talking about the other day. He's like, oh, you're out on the ocean and you're going to go through this thing and you're going to get out, and at the end of it, you're going to have your sea legs. You're going to go, ooh. I'm not sure if that's the way he did it. I'm pretty sure it's not. But this is the way I perceive it. I remember being out there on the halibut boat, where I saved D-Day's life, where he was getting dragged off into the ocean, and I jumped out and I cut the fucking line before he got dragged by a 300-pound anchor to the bottom of the ocean. I mean, what do you expect from me outside of your understanding that you think I'm against you? I will save you. I saved him. And at some point, you have to wonder whether it was the right thing to do. But I saved him. Gah! Yeah, fucking. You jump up. And the thing is, we came back into Kodiak Island, Alaska, and I'm walking, and I was on the dock for the first time after days. I mean, I saved us from fucking dying. Not just him, all of us. Don't make me tell you this story. There's so many people tell lies. I mean, look at me. Look at me! Do I look like the kind of guy that would make up a story to make you feel better? Oh, excuse me while I clear my throat. I'm trying to be quicker about this than you would expect me to be. Gesundheit. Ist besser als Krankheit. So yeah, Paul was talking about it in his tarot reading. Oh my gosh, you're going through the storm. You could go around it. How's that going to work? Is it going to take longer? And I'm like, I've told him before, I just sat on the fucking motorcycle and rode through a hailstorm with my fucking shirt wide open, cutting and bleeding and fucking carrying contusions to the next level. But he brings it up again, and I say, I have to say it again. The sea legs. It's it goes on to the joke after Dee and I got back to the land. It's like, you lose, you really lose a sense of stability when you've been out to sea for long enough to forget what it is to stand on stable ground. And it reminded me of a joke I'd heard long before. Okay, I'm going to tell a joke. Watch this. There's this guy that's been out to sea forever. He comes into port and he says, God, I gotta get laid, but I'm gonna need to get drunk first. And this guy goes into a bar and he's drinking and drinking and drinking. And there's this fucking haggard old whore, just the right size for him as far as age goes. And she says, hey, little motherfucker, you want some or not? And he's like, I don't know. And they're talking. And he gets up and he starts staggering around. She says, you're probably too drunk to fuck as it starts out. And he says, I've been out to sea so long. I'm trying to get my sea legs. And she says, you're saying because you've been out to sea so long, you're trying to get your sea legs and you can't expect it to. And he's like, yeah. And she says, well, I've been a whore in this town for 43 years. You think I'm walking around doing this? There are your sea legs. I don't think the joke came out quite right, but that's the concept of it. And then what? That's the old hag joke part of it. And then you got Kurt Parks. Who I worked with doing framing construction. And he had made a joke the one time about this woman and a man, they're in bed, the woman comes in and catches the wife in the bed. It's a Hustler magazine, and it happened to be a joke I'd already seen. I was like, oh my God, this cannot be happening. And he's trying to tell like his own joke. Like this woman comes in and finds a man in bed with a woman. And the man looks at the woman and says, act natural. And I'm like, I saw that in Hustler magazine as a young man. And he's like, ah! So I caught him in a lie. He tried to make his own fucking joke out of this thing. You'll never see me do this. If I tell you a joke, it's gonna be real. And then so the thing is, we got off the boat in Kodiak, Alaska. D-Day and I did. Why did D-Day and I get off that boat? Because I saved his fucking life. Isn't it amazing how many friends you lose because they don't agree with your political stance? I saved this fucker's life. And I have to wonder how much I regret it at this point. Why would I save the life of somebody who doesn't give a fuck about anybody but himself in that little quiet place? You realize if you only care about yourself, you give up your defense against those who hate you. And I rode through the goddamn fucking storm. The little dude, Roberto, he came up and he said, wake up, wake up, wake up. Because we'd already hit the fucking Vancouver Island. And he said, wake up, wake up, wake up. I cannot do this. And I said, ah. And I drove us through a storm and got us to the place where we were. Sometimes you can't go around the storm. Sometimes you have to go through it. And sometimes you get off and you've got your sea legs